श्याम संगे सुंदरी राधिका रूपलावण्यारासी अमिया परिचे कासी हास्य परिहास संभासाने नरोत्तम दास कोए नित्य लीला सुख मोए साधाई स्फुरत मोट माने वृंदावन रम्य स्थान दिव्य चेतामणि धाम रतन मंदिर मनोहारा अमित कालिंदी नीरे रजहंस खेले करे काहे शोभे कनक कमाना हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। धन्यवाद प्रणाम माता जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. This is one of the favorite bhajans, written by Narottam Das Thakur, Shri Narottam Das Thakur. Hari Bol. Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranam, Prabhu. So we welcome His Various Anirudh Seva Prabhu, today's speaker. Prabhu, over to you.
Yes, Hare Krishna. जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज गण रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज गण रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा मुरलीधर राधा मुरलीधर राधे, जय राधा रमण राधा रमण राधे, जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे, जय राधा नंदन कृष्ण राधा नंदन कृष्ण राधे, जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम, वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम, जय गौरनीता जय गौरनीता, गौरनीता जय गौरनीता, जय पंच तत्व जय पंच तत्व, पंच तत्व जय पंच तत्व, जय षड्गोस्वामी गण जय षड्गोस्वामी गण, षड्गोस्वामी गण जय षड्गोस्वामी गण, जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा, प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा, जय भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपदा, भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपदा, जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जम स्पाद परम स्पर्शिका स्तोत्र सदा सुमधुर जन ग्रह सभा चरण भक्ति दम शम प्रपाद महाराज की, इसका संस्थापक श्री प्रपाद महाराज, कृष्ण कृपा श्री प्रपाद महाराज, जगत गुरु श्री प्रपाद महाराज की, जम स्पाद परम स्पर्शिका स्तोत्र सदा सुमधुर जन ग्रह भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि आचार्य वृंद की जय, नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से को जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय, मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी द्वारका धाम की जय, गंगे में यमुना माया की जय, तुलसी भक्ति देव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशन बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय, all glories to assembled youths, all glories to assembled youths, all glories to assembled youths, all glories Shri Guru and Shri Gaur Gaur Premanande Hare Bol, पवित्र पावन पुरुषोत्तम अधिक मास की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees for today's Shrimad Bhagavatam session, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So today we are taking the shloka, it's 3.1 to 5. Yeah, I will. We'll start off with the prayers. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakya Chakshunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Dadati Supadantyam Vande Ham Shri Gurum Shriuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnamam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raguna Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lilita Shri Vishakanvitam Shah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarusha Kripa Sindhu Vyavita Patitanam Bhavdevo Vaishnavevo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. So take this shloka number 1. Uddhava uvacha tata sagatya puram swapitros chikirshaya sham baladeva samyutaha nipatya tunga dripuyutha natham hatam yakarshad vyasum ojasorvyam. Uddhava uvacha tata sagatya puram swapitros Chikirishaya Sham Baladeva Samyutaha Nipatya Tunga Dripuyutanatham Atam Yakarshad Vyasum Oja Sorvyam. Uddhava Uvacha Tata Sa Agatya Puram Swapitros Chikirishaya Sham Baladeva Samyutaha Nipatya Tunga Dripuyutanatham Atam Yakarshad Vyasummojasorvyam. Word by word meaning, translation for Professor Prabhupada ki jai. I'll read the word by word meaning and translation. Then the devotees can start reading the purport. Uddhava Vacha, Sri Uddhava said, Tataha, thereafter, Saha, the Lord, Agatya, coming, Puram, to the city of Mathura, Swapitroho, own parents, Chikirshaya, wishing well, Sham, well-being, Baladeva Samyuta, with Lord Baladeva, Nipatya, dragging down, Tungat, from the throne, Ripuyutha Natham, leader of public enemies, Hatam, killed, Yakarshat, pulled, Vyasum, dead, Ojasa, by strength, Urvyam, on the ground. Translation. Sri Uddhava said, thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura with Sri Baldev, and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. So, devotee can read the purport. Who is in the queue?
Hare Krishna, complete and purport by Srila Prabhupada. King Kamsa's death is only briefly described here because such pastimes are vividly and elaborately described in the 10th canto. The Lord proved to be a worthy son of his parents even at the age of 16 years. Both brothers, Lord Krishna and Lord Baladeva, went to Mathura from Vrindavana and killed their maternal uncle who had given so much trouble to their parents. Vasudeva and Devaki. Kamsa was a great giant, and Vasudeva and Devaki never thought that Krishna and Baladeva, who would be able to kill such a great and strong enemy. When the two brothers attacked Kamsa on the throne, their parents feared that now Kamsa would finally get the opportunity to kill their sons, whom they had hidden for so long in the house of Nanda Maharaj. The parents of the Lord, due to parental affection, felt extreme danger and they almost fainted. Just to convince them that they had actually killed Kamsa, Krishna and Baladeva pulled Kamsa's dead body along the ground to encourage them. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yeah, now Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Hare Krishna. So you completed reading the purport, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Omagnan Jnana Shalaka Chakshuntamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are in this discussion on now this chapter is entitled Lord's Pastimes out of Vrindavana. And in the previous chapter, we came across all the Lord's pastimes, which was in Vrindavan. I think we covered this Govardhan Leela, and then many other pastimes, killing of the Asuras, so like that. And then here it starts with Uddhav, who is repeating the conversation. As far as Bhagavatam is concerned, there are various speakers in Bhagavatam, as we know. Uddhav was there, then Shukadeva Goswami was there, then Maitreya Muni was there. So each one is giving their experiences and what they heard. And the best point was all of them who heard the Bhagavatam, they all spoke the same, the version, the same, because the absolute truth can never change. So like that, they continued their saga. And of course, 5,000 years back, all the people, especially devotees of the Lord, were super intelligent, and they had so much of memory, and they used to, whatever they used to hear used to be repeated word by word. That kind of a memory they had. And also that that was a system of a Gurukul also, that Guru was actually giving them the knowledge. He was sharing them the knowledge, and he was giving that causeless mercy. He was giving that causeless mercy to the disciples. So with that, the disciples could be able to, give their give the summary of the story, or narrate to whoever was, ready to hear. So like this, the parampara was there. Now here we have Uddhava. Now he is glorifying the Lord's activities, and this is basically at a when Krishna's coming out of Vrindavan itself, which is actually the first one instance, as we remember, is coming to Mathura to kill Kamsa. And so both the brothers, they came to Mathura on the invitation of Akrura. And Akrura, as we know, is actually a cousin of Krishna. And then, but unfortunately, during that time, because of the rule of the Bhoja king Kamsa, and the neither Magadha king Jarasandha, and so many other Chedi king, so many others who were all had then a Gatabandhan. Today also we have so many Gatabandhans of political parties. So like that, those all the villainous characters used to have the Gatabandhan, and they were always against Krishna. I mean, they used to hear about the victories of Krishna against all the Asuras, the heroic acts, how he killed each one of them, of the Asuras, which Kamsa and all these Duryodhana and all these all the Asuras used to send. Everyone was getting they were getting decimated, they were killed off. So like this, these pastimes have been going on, and now when Krishna is almost, now I think he reached the age of 13, and then they came. I mean, that was the time Krishna knew the time when he had to come and attack Kamsa. And then at the same time, Kamsa also desired, as we all know, that he wanted to invite Krishna and Balram, because they had heard about their heroic deeds, and they were very good in wrestling, and they were also good in archery. So he said that he's going to have a competition on the Dhanur Yagna, and on that pretext, he thought he will bring both of them here to Mathura, and hamara home pitch mein hum khelenge karke he called them. He thought that in his hamara ilaka mein hamara kutta sher hai, so he wanted to prove that. So he called that he wanted to show his prowess in his own area, and he wanted to bring the two boys and to kill them. That was his idea. But unfortunately, that his plan never succeeded, and he actually was found his last breath. And before that, we know that Kule Pada, the elephant was there, so that was sent, and then many other like the wrestlers were there. Kamsa, Chanura, Mushtika, all those were there. So everyone were decimated. So like this, and then finally, as in this the shloka it says, both came, and to please their parents, that is basically Vasudev and Devaki, they dragged Kamsa, the leader, because Kamsa had given so much of miseries unto their parents. So he wanted to teach them a lesson and take that revenge. And of course, in the Lord's, it is a Leela again, because he had to do that so that the justice is prevailed, and Paritranaya Sadhanam Dharma Samsthapanaya Sambhavami Yuga. So that he had to prove that also. So he came, and it is very funnily described here, Bhagavatam, Ripu Yutha Natham, leader of public enemies. My God. So very nice designation. So if we can call some, so if you feel that somebody is not according to your taste, and if he's doing some nefarious activity, you can call him, oh, you, my dear sir, your name, I'll rename it as Ripuyuthanatham. Oh my God, very nice. So like this, he killed and he dragged him from the throne, and Kamsa was killed. He met a very gory death. So like this, and then here Prabhupada is mentioning how, of course, it's all mentioned. Prabhupada, as he says, that in the 10th canto, it's all very detailed explanations are given of these pastimes of Krishna. So here, the Lord proved to be a worthy son of his parents, even at the age of 16 years. Both brothers, Lord Krishna and Lord Baldava, went to Mathura from Vrindavan and killed their maternal uncle, who had given so much trouble to their parents. So the parents had never thought that, that these two boys, what they can do, they're just 16-year-old, how they can kill, because Kamsa is so strong and heavy. So they didn't have the confidence. But then, as the Lord himself, he knew what he's going to do. And then finally, he did that deliverance of Kamsa. So, I mean, by hearing that itself, the parents fainted. And finally, just to convince them that they had actually killed Kamsa, Krishna and Baldev pulled Kamsa's dead body along the ground to encourage them. So, and then they not only pulled him, they pulled his body along all the ground, to actually humiliate the people who are supporting Kamsa and all the villainous characters. So this way they just proved their superiority, and that was the end of one chapter. Kamsa's end was one chapter. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think next we have this Sandipanimani, and then here. Okay, I think Akrura's pastime, okay, that is not mentioned here. Anyway, Akrura, actually, as we have read Bhagavatam, and the whole 10th canto is concised by Prabhupada in this Krishna book. So, and as we see that there are a few more chapters when Krishna enters Mathura city. Before that, there are Akrura who actually went from Mathura to Vrindavan to bring the two boys to invite for the Dhanur Yagna or the archery competition. So that is there. And then while coming back, when they were about to reach Mathura at the Akrura Ghat, as we all know, that Akrura got the wonderful vision, divine vision of Krishna in his four-handed Vishnu form. And on the Anantashesha, as Anantashesha, Baldev was there. So like this, he realized these two boys, what is their potency, and then he was satisfied. And actually, Akrura, from the beginning, he was a great devotee of the Lord, but his circumstances were such that he was not able to express his love and gratitude to the Supreme Lord because of Kamsa, Jarasandha, and all the people who are totally against his worship. So like this, Akrura was really afraid that although he was working for Kamsa, who is the enemy, but he was feeling so much shameful that one day he always wanted to be liberated from the clutches. Just like how we are in this material world, full of miseries, a lot of distress, not much happiness, and then problems coming every now and then. So we are also fed up of this, actually. Just we are to have to get out of this place and go to the spiritual world. That has been our mood. And the same situation Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami faced when they were working under the Syed Nawab Hussain in Ramkeli, Malda district. Then Mahaprabhu himself came, Lord himself came, and he gave them the initiation, and then give them right time will come, then you can come back to me. So like this, he gave the message to them, and they later on they escaped from the clutches of Nawab and then started their thorough bhakti practice under the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like this, we are also now almost in that situation where we want to come out of this. We are caught up in this material web. Already WWW is already there, World Wide Web. So how interestingly the scientists also have named it as WWW. It's a web of all Maya Jal, Sharira, Avidya, Sharira Vidya Jal, as Bhakti Vinod Swami, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Sharira is avidyas, ignorance, full of ignorance, and it's a web. It's a completely a web created out of ignorance, and in that we are suffering. Taramadya Jihvati, and amongst that, in that we have the tongue, which is the most notorious among the sense organs. So like this, he explains. So like that, we also have to strive. And despite all the odds facing us, as Prabhupada also says, make the best use of the bad bargain. So come out of this by doing the devotional practices, take the devotional service seriously, and then come out of the clutches of this Maya, and then go back to spiritual world. Hare Krishna. So shloka number 2, devotees can read, please. One can read the shloka and translation, and another one can read the purport.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, who is going to
Can I,
read?
can I read,
Yeah,
Mataji?
Vasudha Mataji. Okay. Yeah, after that, Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya.
I'm not able to hear.
The
Volume.
Mataji, can you? Are
Prabhu,
you
we
able
can
to...
hear you.
1 second. I think there is some.
Just a
Hare
minute,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Yes, Mat.
Yeah, Prabhu. Okay, Mataji, go ahead.
Yes. Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, yes.
Yeah. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya Savistaram Tasmai Pradhat Varam Putram Mritam Pancha Janodharat. Translation, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches simply by...
Shall I exit and then reconnect? Because I'm not able to hear anything.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, Mataji, continue.
Yeah. Translation, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher, Sandipani Muni, whom he rewarded by bringing back his head son from the region of Yamaloka. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Shobha Mataji, read the purport.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Translation by purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport. No one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed in all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher, nor can anyone bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Yamaraja. But Lord Krishna ventured to the planet of Yamaloka and found the dead son of his teacher and brought him back to his father as a reward for the instruction received. The Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an
Channa
author.
Mataji, scroll down. Channa Mataji.
Can I continue, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Yeah,
is it not
yeah.
visible?
For me, it's not visible. For everyone, it's okay?
No,
Is it okay?
No, Mataji.
I am reading from my mobile, Mataji.
Yeah, that's why. Mataji, we can see only up till the 4 lines of the purport. You also can exit and share again. Means
Yes, Mataji.
stop sharing and share again. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
just.
Mataji, you can. Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu.
It is just searching. I'm not able to see the screen.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay,
probably,
Prabhu.
yeah, it's and I think. So let her
Okay.
come out. And
Yeah, fine, Prabhu. Till then, Mataji, Shobha Mataji, you can continue.
I'll continue. Okay. The Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward. He himself adopted this system. The Lord offered his services to his teacher Santipani Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asking something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. The teacher asked that his beloved son who had died, he brought back to him, and the Lord fulfilled the request. The Lord is not, therefore, an ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. The devotees of the Lord who always engage in his loving service are never to be disappointed in the progressive march of devotional service. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. So now we come to the second pastime of the Lord as described by Uddhava. And here he says that the Lord has learned all the Vedas. I mean, he is the Vedanta Krit, Vedanta Vid. Yeah? So he is the one who has compiled the Vedas, and he is the one to be known by reading the Veda, by studying the Veda. So when everything is there, when the Lord has been the compiler, obviously he knows everything, and then he is the one who's to be worshipped and understood. So then, what is the need for the Lord to learn Vedas? So just to bring the devotees or the common man, and yes, now it is visible. The screen is visible. So here it is Lord had to take that position of learning the Vedas. I mean, he also went to the Gurukul, and then he also wanted to study Vedas, because he had the very purpose of him appearing here. He came in the human form, but not actually the like blood and the bones and the muscles and all this, like what we have material body. He came in his own spiritual form, but people mistook Krishna, and then they, whatever offenses they had to make, they had to suffer for it, and that was probably one of the reason the Lord came, and then he taught them all a lesson, and then finally he showed his supremacy, his Sachidananda form. So here, as Uddhava says, Lord learned all the Vedas with different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher, Sandipani Muni, whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Yamaloka. So in just one single pastime, there are so many lessons that Krishna gave us here. The very first lesson is that despite he, the all-knowledgeable, all-cognizant, and the Supreme Lord, he still took the guidance of a guru. So he still went to the guru. He accepted a spiritual master. So he set it by example, and that's Sandipani Muni. And in just 64 days, he learned the entire, all the 64 skills, what is required, those he learned. And then very wonderfully, this is described in Bhagavatam, what all kind of, it could be related to science, it could be related to physics, chemistry, it could be related to astronomy, it could be related to, some domestic course, like, carpentry, it could be something to do. So each and every of the technologies, he learned it, and then he came out. And in that 64 days process, he also befriended Sudama, Vipra, and then came. Now, at the second lesson is that he did everything very humbly. He accepted a guru, and then after that, the Guru Dakshina had to be paid. So Krishna, like any other disciple, he told the guru that we have to give our Guru Dakshina. Please ask what is that you want. And then, as we all know that Krishna's, Sandipani Muni's son was actually kidnapped, and he was taken away, and that is the one demonic person was there, the Panchajana. So he had taken. So he had to kill that Panchajana, and then but then he found that this demon Panchajana had remained in the water, and he was in the shape of a conch shell. And then finally, he had actually eaten him. And then finally, he found that he did not find the son, Sandipani Muni's son there. And then he told that actually, he mentioned that since he has been killed already, so he's gone to the Yamaloka. And immediately he chastised Panchajana, and then finally he came to Yamaloka. Krishna came personally to Yamaloka, and then the moment he came to Yamaloka, of course, obviously Yama was completely stunned to see the Lord himself, and then he prostrated to him and then asked, what is that I can do for you? Because he is the Supreme Lord has come, his boss has come. So immediately he said that you should release my son from your clutches. He's actually not dead. I'm come him to revive his soul. So like that, and then finally he brought him back to his father Sandipuna Muni. So this way, Prabhupada in the Krishna's purport, he gives the comments. That's why we need Acharya's purports and comments. Only then we can understand. Just if we read the story, we think, that's all, is it? This all is it? Okay, this is what he went there, he attacked, and then he brought. But then Prabhupada is giving here, the Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas, and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward. He himself adopted this system. The Lord offered his services to the teacher, Sandipana Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asked something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. So Sandipana Muni also utilized that opportunity. What is not possible, he got it fulfilled. So this way, Prabhupada is telling that Lord is not therefore an ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. So Lord is so much reciprocating. Lord is always behind us. Lord is always egging us, pushing us. He's always supporting us. So this fact is an irrevocable fact that Prabhupada is telling. The devotees of the Lord who always engage in his loving service are never to be disappointed in the progressive march. So like that, there is a statement which is said that if you look back, you have to look at thank Krishna. Okay? And if you see in the front, if you see your future, you have to trust Krishna. Okay? If you see everywhere around, what you have to do? Serve Krishna. And if you see inward, what will happen? You will find the absolute happiness and you will find Krishna. If you find Krishna, then your life is successful. Horrible. So to that extent, we have to do our service, engage ourselves with Shraddha, Rati, and Bhakti. Then Bhakti, all these three will automatically it will come. As Kapil Dev says in the 25th chapter, 25th shloka in his teachings to Mother, that very famous verse, Sadam Prasangam Amavirya Samvido. So in that he says that Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukramashati. Automatically that Shraddha is the absolute faith and your trust on Krishna, and Rati, the attraction, and the Bhakti, which is actually the more devotional service. So the more we do Bhakti, what we get? We get more. We don't get ayasa. We don't get pain. We don't get fatigued, but we get more energy to do more seva. So like this, Prabhupada also in Krishna book, he says, so Sandipani Muni is now here blessing. See, also they did the seva, they brought everything, and then Sandipani Muni was happy. And what is most important is that also from the Guru they got the blessings. So here he says, these glorious acts of yours will always be renowned all over the world. You are all above all blessings. Yet it is my duty to bless you. I therefore give you the benediction that whatever you speak will remain as eternally fresh as the instructions of the Vedas. Your teachings will be honored not only within the universe or in this millennium, but in all the places and ages, and will remain increasingly new and important. You know why? After that, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. And why Krishna's words is even today and even for millions and millions of years, it will be recited and it will be respected and people will follow. Why? Because the strength and the power, the potency of the Guru's blessings was there. So that's why Prabhupada writes here, due to the benediction from his teacher, Krishna's Bhagavad Gita is ever increasingly fresh and is renowned not only within this universe, but in other planets and other universities also. So this is also very important that we should receive, serve the Guru, serve the Lord, and then get their mercy, and when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Prabhupada's guru, was asked how we can see Krishna. What is the answer he gave? Arey, don't try to see Krishna. Don't waste your time to see Krishna. Krishna is actually there everywhere, wherever you are actually seeing him. But you do your service and bhakti in such a way that Krishna will see you. Krishna would like to see you. So this is the message. This is the understanding what we should get, and the perfect example and the perfect lesson that Krishna gave, that you also have to get the mercy of your guru. Hare Krishna. So I think time is just catching up. There's so much to discuss, but then we'll go on. 5 slokas are there. We'll go to the next sloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I, Prabhu?
Yeah, Radhika Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Samahuta Bhishmaka Kanyayaye Shriya Savarnena Bhuppushayesham Gandharva Vritya Mishatam Svabhagam Chare Padam Murni Dadhats Ruparnaha. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mataji.
Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation, Dandavat Prabhuji. Translation by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, many great princes and kings assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share, as Garuda carried away nectar. Purport also I'll read, Prabhuji.
Suma
whoever
Mataji.
is in the queue. Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Princess Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, was actually as attractive as fortune itself, because she was as valuable as gold, both in color and in value. Since the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the property of the Supreme Lord, Rukmini was actually meant for Lord Krishna, but Shishupala was selected as a bridegroom by Rukmini's elder brother. Although King Bhishmaka wanted his daughter to be married to Krishna, Rukmini invited Krishna to take her away from the clutches of Shishupala. So when the bridegroom Shishupala came there with his party with a desire to marry Rukmini, Krishna all of a sudden swept her from the scene, stepping over the heads of all the princes there, just as Garuda carried away nectar from the hands of the demons. This incident will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. So this is again one more. Choragraganya Purusham Namami. So this is the perfect example of a thief, the thief of thieves, Choragraganya, the stealer of so many things. So we are all reciting Chaurashtakam, and we know Krishna is, that's how he's very famous for being being the perfect thief. And as Prabhupada says, in spite he being a perfect thief, whatever he did, we actually appreciate him in the spiritual sense, in the spiritual world. So this is the uniqueness of Krishna. Or in a material world, whenever if we think of anybody stealing, that's it. Or somebody robbing, means that's it. You're a crime. It's a crime. You're a criminal. You'll be caught. You'll have to face some punishments. But that is not the case with Krishna. When Krishna, right from his childhood days, he was only doing these kinds of thief stealing activities. But everything was for the pleasure of the Brajavasis. Everyone used to love and enjoy. So this is that is the supremacy of the Lord. Only then he can become supreme. If he also gets any comments or any complaints, and then somebody argues about his leelas, then that means he will not have that potency. But even if you take the worst of the worst atheists, still they, heart in heart, they respect Krishna. They know Krishna, oh my God, what all he did. And many of the things what he did in the today's world, it appears very immoral. But that immorality itself is so relishable, and that itself becomes the the dharma, like or the right practice. It appears like that. So this is that inconceivable potency of the Lord. And even if you're in the Yuddha also, the Mahabharata war also, how much he cheated. He cheated the Duryodhana and the parties. When Arjuna was supposed to be killed, his Rath was there stuck. But then he saved. And then Karna was killed when in the same kind of instance when Karna's Rath was also stalled. At the time, he although he was without weapon, he was killed. It was instructed by Krishna, and then he killed. And similarly, when the Bhima and Duryodhana, the final fight, and how, or rather, yeah, that also, he actually gave the secret. Krishna gave the secret that you have to hit him on the thigh, because Duryodhana's thigh, among all the body, it was his body was like a vajra, diamond, but except that portion of the thigh, which was the weakest link or the weakest portion. So he gave all the hint, and killing Jarasandha, he gave the hint. And for Jayadratha, killing of Jayadratha, every time, he did all the mischievous things, which is inconceivable. But still, Acharyas or whoever it is, they all appreciated that, Krishna's fact. And all Acharyas supported Krishna doing all this nefarious activity. Of course, it was all for upholding the dharma. So when the Lord does it, it is not going to taint him with that same kind of, materialistic punishments or
Hare Krishna.
he was about to be, they were about to be, he was so happy, and they were so, entire party was going on, Bharat was there, and then they thought that, yeah, Rukmini is going to be theirs. But then Krishna came and kidnapped. Of course, who can, marry Lakshmi? Lakshmi can be married only by Sakshat Vishnu, Sakshat Narayana, Sakshat Krishna. So Rukmini cannot go to anyone else. So that he wanted to prove the point, prove that fact. And that is how, when the climax came, that's it. They were all completely, they were decimated. And they had a very disappointing end. So like this, Krishna's pastimes are so glorious. And that's why Bilamangal Thakur told him Chauragra Ganyam. And he is glorifying the Lord in that wonderful Ashtakam. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I'll go to the Shloka 4.
Prashanti Mataji read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prakut mino viddana sodamitva swayam vare nagna jiti muvaha tadbhagnamanam api gridyato jnan jagne shastra prata shastraihi. Translation by Prabhupada ki Jai. By subduing 7 bulls whose noses were not pierced, the Lord achieved the hand of Princess Nagnijiti in the open competition to select her bridegroom. Although the Lord was victorious, his competitors asked the hand of the princess, and thus there was a fight. Well equipped with weapons, the Lord killed or wounded all of them, but he himself was not hurt. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, this another pastime, the third one which has happened, whereas the princess Nagnijiti was actually, Nagnijiti is one of the Ashta Mahishi, the prime 8 wives of Krishna. Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati. Then you have Nagnijiti. Then you have Mitravinda. Then you have Bhadra. Then you have Lakshmana, and one more. So these were the prime wives of Krishna. So here, Nagnijiti is also mentioned there in Bhagavatam, and she was actually a daughter of Ayodhya, or the Koshala Raja, Nagnajit. So that's how she got the name Nagnajiti. And here, because he wanted to get married to a very heroic person, the king, so he gave this challenge. So this challenge of who can subdue the 7 bulls. To that person, heroic person, I will marry my daughter. So like that. And then many of the kings who were there that time, they had all gone there, from the enemy party and from Krishna's side also. But nobody could subdue all the 7 bulls. And nobody could get that. Only Krishna did that. And the 8th one, Kalindi. Yeah, Kalindi was the 8th one. So this way, this is also wonderful pastime which happened. And then she became Krishna's wife. And after that, there was a fight amongst the other people who lost the fight. They all attacked Krishna. So Krishna was there also in the Bhama Vrindavan. There was so many fake Vasudevas. Fake guys who are having 4 hands. They used to attach 4 hands, another 2 extra hands, and they're also dressed like Krishna, holding conch, chakra, sudarshan, and all that. So this is a typical materialistic world, beginning of Kali Yuga, end of Dwapara Yuga. So that those also was there. So Krishna had to face so much of, my God, competitors and so much of people who are against him. But against all that, he won successfully. He waged a very successful war and he succeeded. So like this, and then well equipped with weapons, the Lord killed all of them, although he was not hurt. So this is what is being explained here. Then the 5th one, we'll go to the 5th shloka.
Anita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prabhur Gramya eva priyaya vidit surarchat dvitarum yadate vajre adravatam saganarushandaha krida mrugono namayam vadhunam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Just to please his dear wife, the Lord brought back the Parijata tree from heaven, just as an ordinary husband would do. But Indra, the king of heaven, induced by his wives, handpicked as he was, ran after the Lord with full force to fight him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Purport.
Gayatri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord once went to the heavenly planet to present an hearing to Aditi, the mother of the demigods, and his wife Satyabhama also went with him. There is a special flowering tree called the Parijata, which grows only in the heavenly planets, and Satyabhama wanted this tree. Just to please his wife, like an ordinary husband, the Lord brought back the tree, and his enraged Vajri on the controller of the thunderbolt. Indra's wives inspired him to run after the Lord to fight, and Indra, because he was a henpecked husband and also a fool, listened to them and dared to fight with Krishna. He was a fool on this occasion because he forgot that everything belongs to the Lord. There was no fault on the part of the Lord, even though he took away the tree from the heavenly kingdom, but because Indra was henpecked, dominated by his beautiful wives like Sachi, he became a fool, just as all persons who are dominated by their wives are generally foolish. Indra thought that Krishna was a henpecked husband who only by the will of his wife Satyabhama took away the property of heaven, and therefore he thought that Krishna could be punished. He forgot that the Lord is the proprietor of everything and cannot be henpecked. The Lord is fully independent, and by his will only he can have hundreds and thousands of wives like Satyabhama. He was not therefore attached to Satyabhama because she was a beautiful wife, but he was pleased with her devotional service and thus wanted to reciprocate the unalloyed devotion of his devotee. Hare Krishna Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare thank you. So this is the 5th pastime, which is about the Parijata being gifted to Satyabhama. I think all of us know the pastime. And then, but there are very, very tricky things in this, or very nuances or very fine understanding in this pastime also, that I would like to cover it. And with that, I will end the session today. So as we know that Parijata was one of the most sought after flower it was there in Indra's Swargaloka. And Satyabhama, after she married Krishna, and Satyabhama, as we know, her character was, because she was coming from a very royal family, and she has been, born with a silver spoon. By birth, she was, like very adamant, and she was always, stubborn. And as she married Krishna, she wanted Krishna's full attention. She was so envious of Rukmini and Jambavati. They were the other two wives at that point of time. And she was always wanted Krishna's attention. She always was in that mood of Krishna is mine. It's not that I am Krishna's and I'll serve Krishna. That was not her mood. Actually, her was very, very possessive nature. And this pastime with the Parijata pastime also, he gave a lot of lessons. Krishna gave a lot of lessons to the devotees in particular. And then for all that Leela to happen and the message to be conveyed, he employed the very important character, which is Narada Muni. Narada Muni was employed, and then he made him as an instrument, and completely turned Satyabhama, her behavior, and finally she had to surrender to Krishna and more than anything to Rukmini, who is the senior wife. She actually, when she had come to the household of Krishna, she should have respected the elders. And Rukmini, who else is more devoted and more eternal servitor, which is actually Rukmini, but she was a little offensive about all that. And then, so it's all very tricky things. The nuances of our human nature was brought out by Krishna, and then he corrected Satyabhama in this whole pastime. So it so happened that when she heard that this Parijata flower is there, so Krishna, he employed Narada Muni and then said that, you please go to Indraloka and bring this flower. And it was said, and whoever is having the flower, Parijata flower, was that their wealth is going to increase every day by day. And the second thing is, it is not going to wither away. It's not going to dry out. It will remain fresh for as long as you keep worshipping it. So this was the 1 or 2, 3 conditions. And so this he came, and as he came to Dwarka, he first came to the palace of where Antapura of Rukmini, and then he made a show of that near Satyabhama's palace also. So all the Satyabhama's their assistants, maids, got attracted, and they came to know, and the whole message fled, rumors fled that, oh, this flower has come from, Narada Muni has brought this flower, and this is said to be given to whoever is the most loved wife, whoever is most loved by Krishna, it will be given to her. So then everybody started guessing, and Satyabhama also got the message, and she thought that Krishna will come to her and then give it, but Krishna never gave it. And when all the Sakhis were there watching the handing over of this flower, they were there behind the curtains and then hiding and then seeing. But then Krishna came to Antapura of Rukmini, and then he told her, you are my most dearmost wife, so I'm going to give it to you. And then he gave it to her. And this spread like wildfire. And Satyabhama came to know about this. She was completely burning. She was, my God, how can Krishna can do like this? How can he has to be Satyabhama Videya, not Rukmini Videya or any other Videya. Videya means a follower or a completely who follows the instructions. So she was very, very jealous that this has happened. So she called Krishna to the Antapura and she said, come on, she summoned him. Come on, how can you give to Rukmini? How do you think that I am your dearmost wife? And then she started questioning. So Krishna was in a very helpless position. No, what to do? I brought it, but what to do? I didn't, somehow I slipped my mind. He just did some natak and then did some drama. And then he tried to excuse her. And he told, what, Satyabhama, what do you think? Only one flower you're talking. For you, I can bring the whole tree from the Indraloka. Don't worry, you are my most dearmost. So like that, he pura Maska Marke. So then he went and allowed that the entire tree to come, and the tree was gifted to Satyabhama. Satyabhama was fully happy, and she wanted, and she was getting all the adoration, and everybody was, glorifying Satyabhama because she got the entire tree. So she is more fortunate, like that. She was, feeling so happy, and she was completely satisfied. But internally, Krishna in the heart knew that I had to correct her. And Narada Muni also, he played the perfect foil. And then he further egged Narada Muni to go and tell Satyabhama that if you have to if you have to keep your husband under your control and become Satyabhama Videya, then you have to perform one sacrifice or one yajna, one austerity. What is that austerity? That you have to give your husband to Dana, to a very good Brahmana, or you can give it to me. I'm also Brahmana, and I'm also Brahmachari, and I'm also a perfect devotee. So you can give it to me. Karke Narada somehow convinced Satyabhama. Satyabhama was scared. My God, if I give him Dana, then how I can take him back? So that was her question. I mean, she wanted always to be in her possession. How can I live Krishna and, how can I give Krishna and how can I live? That was her question. And Narada Muni coolly said, very trickily, don't worry. You now offered him to me. You can buy him back. Buy him back by putting all your wealth in the Tulabhara. That's all. Wow, how much will Krishna weigh? About 80, 100 kilos? No problem. You have more than tons and tons of wealth. You can put all your gold, jewelry, diamond, everything, and then you can weigh the scale and you can win him over. So that way you will be perfectly. You will win the game, and you will have permanently Krishna in your possession. So like that, he fooled her, and she also took that vrat. And she did it. And then ultimately what happened was that despite putting all the wealth, nothing was moving. The scale was, the Krishna was below, and the how much ever he put the wealth was, the top. The scale was in the top. And again, to prove a point, and then to teach her a lesson, and to bring her ego, shatter her ego. So finally, Narada Muni was, there's so many other pastime happened in between also, but I'm to cut short of the time. It so happened that he finally advised through Narada Muni, Krishna advised to Narada Muni, and Narada Muni got the plan, what is to be done. And then he told Satyabhama, that if you have to really come out of this solution, there is one person whom you have to approach. So you go and approach that person, and she will solve that problem. So who is that? Actually, he went to, she had to go to Rukmini. Whom she was trying to be so much jealous and not giving respect. Ultimately, Krishna made it a point that she goes to her and then beg her, and then that she comes to her help. And finally, she pleads Rukmini Mata. Rukmini Mata comes, and what she gives, what is her wealth? That a single dala, one pair of tulsi leaf, and that is kept on that above top of all those wealth, tons and tons of wealth. And with that one tulsi dala, Krishna
I can't hear Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Patram pushpam phalam tam yome bhakta prachiti tadaham ashnami prayatatman.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, now you can hear?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So very important pastime. I hope you have not missed much. But then, so finally, with that one tulsi dala, the scales could be weighed, and Krishna was weighed, and then Satyabhama finally surrendered to all the devotees, and she completely surrendered to Krishna as well. So this was a very important lesson from this pastime. So from this we can understand that how much we have to be humble in our behavior, and also how we should associate with the devotees, and how to make the best use of this bad bargain. So that's why Prabhupada also finally says that he was not therefore attached to Satyabhama because she was a beautiful wife, but he was pleased with the devotional service and thus wanted to reciprocate the unalloyed devotion. Of course, in this pastime, there is so much about Indra also getting jealous, and Indra's wife, and Indra had to attack Krishna. So all these things. I mean, again here the little vicious behavior of Indra, or is one of his characters, is also being exposed here. But of course, it's again the divine Leela of the Lord, and he just played a part. He thought that Krishna is also henpecked, and he brought, for her wife this he stole from here, and he brought the Parijata tree. So like that. But actually, as Prabhupada explains, finally Indra also came to that understanding that he is the Bhoktaram Yagnatapasa, Sarva Lokam Maheshwaram, Saharidam Sarvabhutanam, Ratva Mam Shantim Richati. So he also understood, Indra also understood, and he also finally surrendered to Krishna. And so these are so many pastimes, are there lessons which we have to learn from this, each of these pastimes. Hare Krishna. So with this, I will end today. If there are any questions, comments, realizations, please devotees can share.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Hare.
Yeah, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Swati Mataji.
Mataji, Prabhuji, Dhanavardhana. In Govardhan Leela, same Indra came and the pride of Indra will go away. But even though in this Leela also, the same Indra, why he behaved like that? Even though in Govardhan Leela, whatever with Krishna, whatever happened, again same it happened with Krishna.
So we all those see right from Brahma, all the entities in the material world have some or the other, these weaknesses. Now we are all attacked by this Arishad Vargas, the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, at some point of time. And it is quite natural. Even Indra is also in that position. I mean, it's not like comparatively from with us as conditioned soul to a demigod. We cannot really compare that. But they have some slight these kinds of their behaviors are there, the patterns are there. This just to highlight the nature of the material world. So how even demigods, devotees, topmost servitors can get affected by this Arishad Varga, or the three modes, or these four defects, how this can be. So it's just to show the example that Krishna is giving, he's making so many pastimes, so many Leela, just for us to understand. So it is just all for the pleasure of the Lord that these are happening. Of course, he was taught a right royal lesson in the Govardhan Leela, Indra, but he never rectified. There is some other, something else happened, some other situation. So just to show how tricky this material world is. Padam padam yat vipadam. Padam padam, every moment, every second, we are under the influence of Maya. So how to show the trickiness of Maya, the powerful nature of the Maya, all this, these are all just, nice lessons. At the same time, entertaining, and then giving us a warning that please, next time you don't do this. Next time you don't do this. So Krishna is helping us by portraying all these Leelas. Hare Krishna. So nothing to feel bad about Indra's his behavior or how he did. You don't have to feel bad about it, but we just have to pick up the good points out of this and leave the rest. Haribol.
Haribol. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for the wonderful guidance, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is not related to today's class, Prabhuji. It is a general question. They say that we have to do our karmas up only and surrender the fruits to the Lord. But we go to office or we work for somebody, under somebody. So how can we expect the fruits, Prabhuji? How they wish to give us, or should we ask for it, or how the results we should take?
So, Mother, your question is that you're working under somebody, so there is a master or an employer. So he's the one who is giving the fruit.
For the people who go for work, if there is any problems, like they do not get the salary or something like that, should they ask for it, or should they leave it like that? it is for Krishna's satisfaction.
See,
However,
this
why
is
should I?
again, it is just my personal opinion and my take, how I have lived my lifetime, is that as far as when it comes to materialistic, our position and our employment and things like that, we are bound by it. Come on, we cannot be, we have to take all precautions, and then we have to do our duty diligently. At the same time, expect some rewards. It's not that we are greedy about it, or we should not greedy about it, but expect some basic. And most important thing is that we should be fearsome. We should have the courage to ask the employer. We should not become okay, it is good to be humble, it is good to be all that, but there is a certain limit. So because you're entering into a contract with your employer, as much as possible, there is a certain terms and conditions, and the terms and conditions is applicable for both of the parties. It cannot be one-sided. So we have to make sure that our terms and conditions, or what is guaranteed, is getting to you, and what you are guaranteeing to your boss, you are giving it to them. So as long as that is there, then you have every reason to fight, but you should not be afraid of it. Okay, come what, if this job is not there, somebody else, something else is there. Now this is at the material level. When it comes to a devotee, then all your faith and all your belief system and your shelter should be under the lotus feet of Krishna, and the lotus feet of the holy name. And so you should do more vigorously when you're facing a trouble, when you're facing a problem. Do your spiritual practice more vigorously. Then automatically Krishna will give you the result. He will automatically reciprocate. You will actually get the best of the material wealth and best of the spiritual wealth. It's only that our practice, our sadhana has to be taken care of. That's it. And of course, under the guidance of the guru, guidance of the seniors, and guidance of devotees, satsang, all these things will matter most. So just be humble, and then even if something worse is going to happen in your materialistic life, if you're not getting increment, you're not getting promotion, something like that, it's okay. Keep it as a temporary thing, but don't offend your employer at the same time. Do it in a very royal way. You search for a good job, pray to Krishna, search for a good job, he will arrange it, then you leave it aram se. After 10 years, that employer should again call you back to the job.
Haribol. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Very nice and practical answer, Prabhu. Thank you. Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In today's class, we learned that Krishna set an example by accepting spiritual master, he himself. He showed us how we have to accept spiritual master in our life. And in 4.11, Krishna says that Mama Vartmanu Martante, Manushya Partha Sarvatra. So everyone follows my path. But he kidnapped Rukmini, and he had to face Satyabhama's inquiry. So how people understand this, Prabhuji?
So even if we take several lifetimes to understand, or to do some thesis on why Krishna did this, why he did not do like this, I expected him to do like this, but he did this way. If we try to do, we are just going to fail in our futile. It'll all be futile. It's exercise is just not going to. So many acharyas have gone in depth, giving their commentary, giving their wonderful realizations, and it is unlimited. Krishna's past names are unlimited, and how can we understand
Prabhuji, you're not audible, Prabhuji.
itself in this duality? It is everything which is inconceivable. Hare Krishna. So as you compare, I mean, even if you can talk of two different pastimes, it will be, everything is a variety, everything is unique, and that is how Purandaradasa has sung a song, and he has mentioned in that Ipariya sobagava devaralu na kane Gopi jana priya Gopala Kallade So he's saying that this kind of a variety, this kind of entertainment, this kind of a romanticism, or this kind of a excitement is nowhere. No other demigod or no other god has given this. Only in your leelas we can relish all these things. So obviously you are the supreme. So I come to the conclusion that you are the supreme. Whenever in whichever aspect I take, you always remain the supreme. You always show us the right path. So like that, he is glorifying. So that is the nature, Krishna's nature. That's why Krishna is all encompassing. So what Narendra Modi said when he went to Japan about 5-6 years back, and he wanted to, he met the Prime Minister there in Japan, and then he told him, I have brought one gift for you. What is that gift? I brought you the Gita. And what is that famous dialogue he said? That Gita के इसके बिना मेरे मन में कुछ नहीं आया कि मैं क्या दे दूं आपको. गीता ही इतना बड़ा एक तोहफा है. और इसके अलावा दुनिया में रहा क्या है? What else is there which is more valuable than Gita? That's what he said. Very famous statement. And he understood. He really brought out the worth of the invaluable worth of Gita. So like this, I am giving you this gift because I didn't find anything much better than this gift. So that is the Krishna's compassion. So his appearance, his disappearance, whatever it is, leelas are so much of a wealth.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? Sunita Mataji, you wanted to say something?
No, I said thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I hope I could somehow make an attempt to answer, but I am sure
in
that
between I couldn't hear you, Prabhuji. In between I couldn't hear you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Because your voice was not clear.
Okay. Only thing is, I was telling that each leela is having its own unique.
Okay, Prabhuji. Again, voice is not
again,
clear.
Yeah. Haribol. Yeah, Prabhu, sorry. Can you repeat, Prabhu? Again, it got stuck.
Oh.
You lost your voice, yeah.
1 second. So, I think, yeah, there's something. Is it audible?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
So, what Krishna is doing each of the pastime, I think Mataji compared with this Indra's Parijata and the Rukmini's kidnapping, right? So each one has its own flavor. Each one is having its own variety. And from each of these pastime, he's giving us a lesson. And because as conditioned soul, we are having our deficiencies, weaknesses. And he's pointing it out. Krishna is pointing out that you did this, weakness, you did this kind of an activity. So you are going to get this, learning. So like this, we just have to take it in that, pick up the best points out of all these leelas. And because Krishna did that abduction, Krishna did the robbery, thief, we cannot do that. If we do that, you know what is going to happen in this material world. So we have to stay within our limits, right? But for Krishna, it is not like that. That is his supreme position. Very well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, thank you
Krishna
so much.
actually lifted Govardhan. So if so many Babas, so many gurus, fake gurus are there, and they're also claiming Bhagwan, I'm Kalki Bhagwan, I'm this Bhagwan. Okay, just ask them to lift one hill, small hill, 1/10 of maybe Govardhan. Can they do? No. Can they show some Vishwarupa Darshan? No, it's impossible. So simply why they are calling the gurus, I'm Bhagwan. It's all fake. So to prove all these fake Babas and Sannyasi, so Krishna did all these, unbelievable, superhuman, Herculean tasks. And it is all etched in the history. And it's available in the scriptures, so that nobody dare to come and question or challenge Krishna. And simply just have to accept Krishna's his supremacy and surrender. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nice session.
Yeah.
So shall we end the session, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Do Vaishnava Pranam Mantra and end the session there.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरुदेव महाराज की जय।
Hare Krishna to all the devotees.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Shall I end, Prabhu?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay,
Hare
thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Pranam. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Pranams.
Thanks, Mataji. Thanks for all the team
Thank you,
work.
Prabhu.
Hari Bol.